All right, top stories today. MicroStrategy could be included in the S&P 500 in 2025. Elon Musk has been proposed by Senator Rand Paul as U.S. House Speaker. China may be on the verge of ending its Bitcoin ban. Rumors are circulating that China has been acquiring Bitcoin. Okay, so Michael Saylor has given another interview, and he's explaining his process of Bitcoin strategy and using it as a replacement for treasury bills. And he goes on to explain that for the past 100 years, big companies haven't had any replacement for treasury bills. There's been no competitor for treasury bills. Now there is. Bitcoin is a true replacement for T-bills. And again, Michael Saylor is taking MicroStrategy, and next year in 2025, they're switching their accounting method to the fair value accounting method. Now, he says they have 3 sources of income at MicroStrategy. So MicroStrategy started as a software business in 1989, and they still have that business, and it generates about $75 million a year. That sounds like a lot, but it's really not much compared to the other 2 sources of income. So his Bitcoin strategy has netted them about $15 billion. And then they also have unrealized investment gains, which actually total $18.6 billion. That's more money than they've made off of the Bitcoin strategy. And that is not even being reflected on their balance sheet currently. So in 2025, they're switching to the fair value accounting method, and this will be accounted for on their balance sheet. So Saylor is saying that in 2025, with Bitcoin's price going up and their unrealized gains, they're going to have about $50 billion on their balance sheet. And that is what will propel them to be admitted into the S&P 500. So this is very interesting. Watch out for MicroStrategy in 2025. And as we can see today, MicroStrategy is taking a giant dive down to 336 right now. Just earlier today, we were way higher than that. On Monday, we were at 436. 9:30 a.m. we opened at 365. Yeah, so we're dropping. With these current dips, this could be a great entry point for MicroStrategy. Okay, so the Polymarket predictions are showing now a 36% chance of a strategic Bitcoin reserve for the United States within the first 100 days of the new presidency. Ticked up just slightly since yesterday. It was at a 35% chance. Okay, so Hut 8 has acquired another 990 Bitcoin for $100 million, which boosts its total holdings of Bitcoin to over $1 billion as institutional adoption of cryptocurrency accelerates. So this is great. More bullish news for Bitcoin. Also, Mara has raised another $1.925 billion from its 0% convertible notes in November and December. They're using its proceeds to purchase more Bitcoin. They got another 15,570 Bitcoin for $1.53 billion at an average price of $98,529 per Bitcoin. Pretty good. So Mara adds more. They now have a total of 44,394 Bitcoin. So they're really pushing this Bitcoin strategy. Okay, so we see here that we've had 15 consecutive inflow days for the US Bitcoin ETFs. This is great. So all the way from November 27th to December 18th, it's been nothing but straight inflow days. And if we look at our Bitcoin ETF inflow charts, we see that IBIT yesterday bought another 359.6. The day before they bought 741.4. They've just been on a buying spree. All right, so we see here that Bitcoin is holding up above its 20-day exponential moving average, using that as a support level, which is right around 100,000, as we can see here. It's really using that. This is our 20-day EMA, and it's just touching off that, so that's cool. We're really seeing right around 100,000 as our support level, and that's really actually amazing because just a few weeks ago we were trying to reach 100, and now 100 is acting as a support level. Very interesting and amazing. You see here someone saying that Bitcoin will make a comeback within the next 3 days. We know that the rate cuts cause extreme volatility, but once those weak lettuce hands are shaken out, the rally will resume. The Santa rally will resume. We just talked about that yesterday, saying that probably by the end of today and or into tomorrow, we're going to see this rally beginning again. The shakeout will be done by then. So just continue to hold on. DCA, don't sell out of fear. Just continue to hold. Cool, so Phantom is making some cool news here. They're now getting into the social space. So we know that Phantom has implemented SUI, and they're also the biggest Solana wallet. And now they're getting into the social space. So a lot of good things happening from Phantom. All right, so Solana DApp revenue reaches $365 million in November, led by meme coins. So this is great, especially with Pump.Fun, right? They earned $106 million just from Pump.Fun. So Solana has a very robust meme community, and it's really driving revenues. So this is great news. All right, so we also got some info here that November home sales have surged more than expected, boosted by lower mortgage rates. So this is actually kind of good economic data, which is sometimes bad for markets, because if we get a lot of good economic data, then Powell might have reason to not cut rates, right? So therefore the investors and and Wall Street takes that negatively because they might not be seeing rate cuts. And then couple that with what Powell said yesterday, that there might only be 2 rate cuts next year. So that's why we might be seeing some more volatility today. Some more things are down today. This has to do with it. Looking at our Bitcoin monthly returns, if we take a look at the last halving year, which was 2020, by the end of the year, starting in October, we had some green months, 1, 2, 3, all the way into 2021, 4, 5, 6 green months in a row. In October of 2020, we went up 27.7%, followed by about 43% in November, followed by about 47% in December. That is amazing, right? This was a really amazing time to be involved back in 2020. In 2021, January, we continued the bull run with 14.5%. In February, we went up 36.78%, and in March, we went up 29.84%. Okay, before dipping down a little bit, May we had a 35% pullback, but you could see in a halving year we had that. Now, this is a halving year, 2024. September was an up month, 7.29%. October, 10.7%. November, 37.2%. December, 6% so far. So we've already had 4 green months. This probably will continue, right? Especially, yes, we all know we might see some little pullback in January before the 20th, right? Depending on whatever news and volatility comes out. But after the 20th, we're going to start seeing strategic Bitcoin reserve be implemented. We're going to be on a serious bull run by February. So 2025 should be quite interesting as well, coming out of our 2024 halving year. And there's also a little bit of a rumor here that Hedera is helping out an AI thing that is being used by Equity Lab, Intel, and NVIDIA. They're unveiling verifiable compute. It's a new transformative solution to address a critical need in the AI industry for trust and verification, particularly as autonomous AI agents become more prevalent. So they're using some blockchain stuff within the Hedera ecosystem at key stages. Very interesting to see that Hedera is involved with something with NVIDIA. All right, let's take a look at some stock prices. NVIDIA is still hovering right about that 130 level. It dipped down to 128 yesterday. It's come back up to 130, about 132 right now. MicroStrategy is down to 344. It dipped all the way to 337 at 10:30 this morning, and it's recovered just slightly to 344. And Coinbase is at 284. It dipped down to 279 around 10:30, and it is now hovering around 284. So everything is still dipped. Good buying opportunities, good opportunity to put on some options on some of these that we know are going to be coming back. For example, well, we know that MicroStrategy is very volatile, and we have a lot of people in Wall Street that are shorting it. They're almost against it, right? So that's a harder one to predict. We know that we hit up around $500 early back in sometime in November. Look at this, 473 on November 20th, right? Now we are way down from there. So it's been very volatile. This one doesn't always react, right? We know it's a Bitcoin strategy company, but when Bitcoin pumps, MicroStrategy these days hasn't always been pumping. That's because there's so much attention from Wall Street on it. There's a lot of shorting going on with this one, and all sorts of trading happening on MicroStrategy, so it's very volatile. Whereas Coinbase, we can see, we know its trajectory, we can see a clear dip right here. If, for example, you were to just put on some options, it dipped from about 310-ish, right? 312, 315. If you were to put on some options, because we just dipped to 279, put on some call options to get you back to that 311 level, I think that's going to be a very successful move. We will probably, most likely, definitely be seeing Coinbase popping right back up to 310, 315 within a month, a week, could be a couple days. So this is a nice little opportunity to maybe put on an option right there. All right, let's take a look at some prices. So Bitcoin is just hovering right about around 100,000 right now. So we can see we actually were hovering right. We came back up to about 102, 103, and now just around 9, basically right when the market opened, 930, 940, went from 102, kind of hopped back down to the high 99s. So that's where we're sitting now. Ether's come down even more to the 35s. It's 35.91. XRP back down to the low 32s. Today's a good buying day. I hope you have some dry powder, some cash on the sidelines. Today is a good buying day. 231 for XRP. Solana's still around 204. Cardano's in the low 90s, 93. Chainlink below 25, hanging out at 24 now. Stellar Lumen's at 39. HBAR at 28. VeChain at just under 5 cents. ALGO at 0.3594. ONDO at 181. We know ONDO was doing very well. This is a good buying opportunity again for ONDO. They were just around $2 the other day. Look where we were for ONDO. On the 15th, we were at 212. On the 18th, we're at 2. Just about $2. So now we've come way down, right? Good buying opportunities here for ONDO. ONDO has been really on fire. Celestia, 547. WIF at 221. BONK down. So yeah, today's another good buying day. Another good day to DCA before we start pumping back up after the market recovers soon. Could be as early as tomorrow or later today.